My name is Bruce Hill, aka New Skills New You. I live on the principle that one new skill can change your life. One new skill will change your life. There's no other scenario. Okay. I help new and aspiring entrepreneurs hear yes more often without sounding like a salesperson. But over the years, I found a very simple 5-step process. I start to sound like the infomercials, but wait, there's more, right? A very simple 5-step process for you to hear yes more often. So for everyone in this sound of my voice, even if you were in my previous session, this is a new training because listen. I've done over 10,000 presentations, made over 20,000 phone calls, and I've raised millions of dollars for corporations. So I'm going to help you raise some more money for you, right? That's my favorite person. Somebody put in the chat, yes. And I don't want you to sound like a salesperson while doing it. I don't want you to sound like a salesperson. There's enough of those. We don't need any more of those. So I do have 2 rules. One, this is a workshop, not a talk shop. I do want your feedback, your participation, your collaboration, okay? So if I ask a question, please chime in. It makes it more valuable for everyone involved. Okay. Number 2, don't just listen. If I wanted to talk to myself, I'd sing in the shower. I need you to take one thing or all the things and go apply it. So what you can do, if you onboard new clients with a 15-minute discovery call, a clarity call, introduction call, if you onboard new clients with a brief introduction, just raise your hand. Just raise your hand, right? And you don't have to, you can use a little emoji. Okay, Dr. Zorn, Dr. Anne Marine. Okay, perfect. This is for you, all right? This is for you. You're in the right place. If you help someone get from A to B, right? If you help folks from unhappy to happy, if you help folks from curious to confident, right? If you help folks from overweight to fit, to unhealthy to healthy, if you offer transformation, go ahead and raise your hand. Okay, raise your hand. You're in the right place. You're in the right place. And this really works best with services, but it can work well with products often as well. So let me tell you a story. I have 4 siblings. I'm the oldest of 4. Excuse me, actually, I have 3 siblings. There are 4 of us. So the youngest, her name is Esther, has eczema on 99% of her body. Right? And we couldn't figure out, and sometimes she'd break out. She'd be scratching all over, and she scratched so hard she'd bleed, and she'd cry. She couldn't sleep because she was in so much pain. And so our parents wanted to help her. Of course they did. That's her baby girl. So we went to all these doctors and they referred us here and they referred us there. And they finally referred us to a dermatologist. And he said, something your daughter is eating is poisoning her. I'm like, poison? And so he said, we've got to figure out what it is she's eating so we can stop eating it. Yes. So we stopped eating meat. We stopped eating dairy. We stopped eating eggs. We stopped eating all animal products. What does that sound like? Nowadays, they call it veganism. We didn't care. We wanted the transformation. So it was about a year, and her skin is flawless, right? She looked like L'Oreal girl, right? And she's hard-headed. Every now and then, she still likes ice cream, and she'll break out right in the crotch of her elbows. Okay, she hard-headed. That's okay. I love her. And so it took about a year, but she had that transformation. So there's a lot of people out there, their skin is itching. They're uncomfortable. They're unhappy. They're not sleeping well at night. They need a transformation. They need a transformation. They want a transformation. And they're waiting for you to guide them along that path. Okay, everybody do me a favor. Let me see if I can do this right. Taria showed me. I'm gonna see if I can get it right for y'all. One moment, please. I want you to go grab this download. I created this resource for you to make it easier for you to get the Ideal client, your ideal client from interested to invoice without sounding like a salesperson. Okay. I am a sales professional. I am not a sales trainer. I'm a coach. I don't want you to be a salesperson. The world has enough of those. Please, please, please go grab it. It's a free download because I'm going to walk you through it. I want you to have this resource. I don't do slides. I'm used to teaching in the classroom. I'm used to teaching live, so I might write on the chalkboard. I might write on the whiteboard. I don't do slides. And that actually, pause, I'll tell you a little story about Bruce. I noticed if anything went wrong, a lot of speakers, they'd be done for. The power went out, the slides didn't, they were wonky. Maybe they had a Mac and somebody had a Windows, they went to a Mac. The internet was down, they were done. They could not do the presentation. So they're like, well, is anybody ready? Boom, I was ready. One new skill will change your life. I've done over 20,000 presentations. I'm always ready. So I've learned to communicate effectively and teach effectively without slides or presentations. Is that better, worse, or the same? That's not my argument. That's how I do it. So what I want to teach you today is not a script. There's no memorization. And in fact, I think I say that if you're looking on that page right now, there's no memorization. I don't want you to memorize anything. I want you to be authentic selves. We're going to guide folks from interested to invoice in 5 easy steps. So put a 1 in the chat. Make sure everybody's listening. Pay attention. We're going to go step number 1. Step number 1. Put a 1 in the chat. I'm going to walk you through step number 1. We're going to help people that are uncomfortable, that are up late, that can't sleep, that are crying, that are stressed out, and we're going to move them to the transformation. All right, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Ray. Thank you, Tandra. Thank you, Duranche. So number 1, when I talk to this person, this is your discovery call, your clarity call. Maybe they shot you a DM. We want to ask for permission. Step 1 is ask for permission. So just type permission in the chat. That's step 1. What does that sound like? Hey, Bruce, thank you so much for scheduling a call today. What do you want to accomplish in this conversation? All right. Hey, Tammy, so glad to have you on the phone. Is this still a good time to talk? Hey, Robin, I see you click the link that you're interested in selling with confidence and closing and sell with confidence. Are we talking about the same thing? They're going to tell you yes or no. Now, this is really subtle, but it's so permission. It's so simple because if they call me, this happened not too long ago. They called me and they're like, hey, I'm trying to buy a house. I'm a sales professional. I could teach you how to buy a house. I'm actually licensed in the state of Ohio as a mortgage loan originator, but that's not what I do. So I referred them and said, where do you live? Okay, hold on. I'm going to send you a link. And I sent them to a realtor I know, like, and trust. Boom, conversation's over, 60 seconds. A lot of us are spending too much time talking to the wrong people. The wrong people cannot tell you yes. If they did, they're charging back. They're reporting you as fraud. Well, I didn't spend $3,000 at New Skills New You. I've never heard of him in my life. Okay, they're leaving you bad reviews. They're certainly not referring new customers. So we don't want to spend any time talking to the wrong people any longer than we have to. We have more important things to do. Okay, so first things first, before we start on our spiel, on our conversation, on our discussion, we want to make sure we're talking to the right person, we're heading in the right direction. If you're in my first, if you listened to my power talk yesterday, that was number 1, right? Let's ask the right people. That's so simple. It's so simple. Nothing I tell you is very difficult to do, but I guarantee if you practice any one of the things I teach you, it's going to change your life. How do I know? Because I've done it over and over and over again, and I love it. I love it. I sleep good at night, and I wake up excited. So number 1, we're going to ask permission. Why are we asking permission? It's a calibration question to make sure we're talking to the right person and we're going in the same direction. So I might say, hey, how long? And actually, this is part of my question form, my intake. Say, hey, how long have you been an entrepreneur? Less than 5 years. Perfect. That's who I like to work with because they're less hard-headed and they still need some support. Now, okay, I know I'm working with the right person. Then I'm going to say, hey, where do you want to go? And they say, well, Bruce, I want to get down to 5% body fat and I want to compete in IFB. Whoops, that's the wrong person. I am not a bodybuilder. I try to get my sit-ups in the morning, but I can't help you compete. That's okay. Hey, you're the wrong person for me. So before we start on our spills, and we've been working on our presentation and we're working on our closing, I don't even teach closing techniques because I found if you're asking the right questions to the right person, they're going to tell you yes. We can save ourselves a lot of time, energy, and headaches. Okay? Yes, yes. All right, pause. Questions, comments, concerns. Well, I see you've got some Ohio in the house. OH. I grew up in Dayton, Ohio. Parents still live there. Love it up there. I was there yesterday. Okay, we're all clear. Good. Step one is ask for permission. Step two, where are you now? Type situation. And this is in the download. If you grab the download, you should be following along. Type situation. Where are you now? What's going on in your life? That could be relationship status, right? If I'm a matchmaker, I want to know, are you single? If you're married, we might need to have a different conversation, right? What else? If you are maybe you're overweight, or maybe I know people have different goals. Maybe you want to gain some weight, right? Maybe you've been through some things, so you lost some weight. Now you're trying to gain some weight, right? I need to know your current situation. Think about your GPS. The first thing it asks you is, where are you? If you really pay attention, it doesn't ask you where you're going. It asks, where are you? Now, most of the time it defaults to your current location. You may not even notice. But what you can do to test this, just to know I'm not making it up, if you turn off your location on your phone, you turn that setting off, it'll say, hey, where are you right now? Because, let me go in the chat. Okay, so we've got some folks in Ohio, and we got some folks in Boston, Massachusetts. All right, perfect. If you were like, hey, you know what we need to do this weekend? We need to go to Florida. It's cold up here. I'm sick of this snow. Let's go to Florida. And so you call me up and say, Bruce, how do I get to Florida? I say, hey, you need to go down I-95. Well, if you're in Ohio, there is no I-95. You need to go down 75. But if you're in Massachusetts, if you're in Boston, you don't need to go down 75. You need to go down 95. That's so simple. I'm not telling you anything revolutionary. But a lot of you are trying to guide your clients to a transformation and you don't know where they are. You don't know where they're coming from. And so you're getting resistance when you ask them to sign up for your program. You're getting pushback when you're asking them to enroll because you don't understand where they are right now. I got somebody in Atlanta. Hey, look, they might need to hop on 85 to 75. Or maybe we're going to go across 20. You have to know where they are now in order to point them in the right direction. Pause again. Questions, comments, concerns. This is so simple. I'm going to roll right through it. Y'all know this, but when you have a very simple structure, consistent practices lead to consistent results. Vivian asked where they are figuratively. That depends on what you offer. If you're a realtor, I want to know where you live physically. Where's your address right now? If you're Darache, hey, and you're looking for your purpose, where are you right now? That might be mental. That might be mindset. Let's see, who else do I have in here? Female entrepreneurs. Dr. Emery serves female entrepreneurs and professionals. I want to ask, how long have you been an entrepreneur? Right? That's a situation question. Because think about it. If you tell me I've never been an entrepreneur, we need to talk about, right, who you serve, maybe a business name, LLC, business bank account. That's a very different situation than someone who's like, oh, I've been an entrepreneur for 10 years. We're going to have a different conversation. How do I know that? Because I asked them some situational questions. We could talk to some faith-based entrepreneurs. I might say, what are your beliefs? We want to make sure we're on the same page, right? If someone believes Jesus Christ is God, I'm going to have a very different question if I'm talking to someone who's Hindu. And that's so simple. But if you don't get that question, if you don't ask that question, you're going to have a disconnect when it's time for them to sign up. They're not going to complete the program. They're not going to get the transformation they look for. And you're going to end up being the bad guy. This is going to save you a lot of pain, a lot of headache, and a lot of chargebacks. So depending on the transformation, it could be figurative or literal. And this is where I help out on a one-on-one basis to craft that for your business. Great question, Vivian. Thank you. Any other questions, comments, concerns? All right, beautiful. Number 3, destination. Put destination in the chat, please, and thank you. Destination. And sometimes I use aspiration, but not as many people knew that word. So I like simple. So we said destination. Everybody gets destination. Where are you going? This is the transformation they're looking for. This is the end result. This is the goal. Now, please, everybody, come here. Do not skip this step. If they are here and they want to be here, this is important. If you're my little sister, if you're my parents, and your youngest daughter is crying at night and she's bleeding from scratching herself too hard, you want her to have clear skin and peace. Okay? The farther apart their current situation is from the destination, the more they will pay. Think about it. If you're in Atlanta and you want to go to Houston, round trip's $200. Ask me how I know. But if you're in Atlanta, you're flying out of Hartsfield-Jackson, the world's busiest airport, and you want to go to Hawaii, it ain't $200. It's a little bit more than $200. Might be $2,000, depending on when you book it. And people pay it happily. Why? Because where they are and where they want to go is so far apart, they're willing and ready to take the time, energy, or money to put those two together. A lot of people skip this step. This is the most important step. You know what? I don't recommend this, but if you skip all the steps I'm about to teach you and you just ask about their destination, you're going to have more success. You're going to hear yes more often. Because what's going to happen is, Bruce, what's going on? Where do you want to go, Bruce? Listen, I want to quit my job. Yeah? Where do you want to go, Bruce? I told you I want to quit my job. Okay, then what? Listen, I want my passive income to exceed my expenses. Okay, then what? Look, I want to be able to travel when I want to, not when I can. Okay, then what? I want to stay there for as long as I want to, not as long as I can. Okay. Bruce, if I can help you quit your job, make more money, and travel more often, should we work together? I don't even know what you're selling. Sign me up. I don't recommend skipping steps, but destination is that important. All you got to do is say, look, if I can help you get to your destination. Now, maybe some of y'all haven't had to ride the bus before. I've had to ride a bus before. So you get on, you're standing there, especially depending on the street, a couple buses will roll past you. You can get on any one of them. They all $1.25. But you want to get on the bus that's headed towards your destination. You see how that works? The people are going to spend the money. If you can help them get towards their destination, it might as well spend it with you. But there's another layer to this. They might as well spend it with you. But how are you going to get them there if you don't know where they're going? A lot of people, we never want people to spend money with you. And then you lead them towards the destination and they're looking around like, this isn't Florida. This is Gatlinburg, Tennessee. I wanted to go south. You took me north. If you're in Atlanta, right? If you're in Ohio, all of it's south. The destination is very important. What write this down. What does success look like? That's one of my favorite questions. Wow. Hey, Bruce, thank you so much for taking time to schedule a Zoom call. What prompted you to schedule? Well, I understand you teach sales skills to entrepreneurs. Yes, sir, I do. Tell me a little bit about where you're at right now. Well, right now, I'm talking to people, trying to get them enrolled in my coaching program. And some days I'll talk to 5 people and 5 people say yes. Sometimes I'll talk to 5 people and 0 people say yes. Okay. So Bruce, it sounds like you're not getting consistent results. Is that right? Yeah, you heard me correctly. Okay, great. So what do you want to accomplish then from working with me? Well, Bruce, I want to hear yes more often. Hey, that's great. I help new entrepreneurs hear yes more often without sounding like a salesperson. What's going to happen if you hear yes more often? Well, I'll have more clients. Okay, Bruce, that sounds good, but what does success look like? Well, listen, if I can consistently enroll new clients, I can plan ahead for my bills. I can plan ahead for investing in my education. I can plan some vacations. Oh, okay, Bruce. So it sounds like if you hear yes more often on a consistent basis, your life is going to be a little bit easier. Did I get that right? Yeah, you nailed it. Okay, great. We've got to understand where they're going. And all I'm teaching for all of 2022 is asking better questions. If you've listened to this and you're paying attention, there's 5 steps. 4 of them are you asking questions. 80% of the conversation is you asking questions. Pop quiz. What do you think is the most valuable sales skill? The number one undisputable sales skill any and every person of any age or profession should ask. That was good. Y'all got that quick. Is listening. You can't listen if you're talking. The person that talks the least controls the conversation. The person that talks the most drives the conversation. I want you to drive the conversation to where you want to go, and I'm going to guide you there by asking questions. You're the GPS. Recalculating, turn left 400 feet ahead. All right, that's you. You're the expert. You're the professional. If they could figure it out, they're not going to pay you any money. But we understand that the current situation doesn't match your destination. Thank you, Dr. Emery. I keep it simple. Listen, I've read 234 books in the past 5 years. And the most valuable thing I've learned is all those pages are no good. You can't put them to practice in your life. So what do? I make it simple. One new skill will change your life. What's the skill? Your laptop dies, the Wi-Fi drops. All you need to do is ask better questions. That's it. That's the lesson. Thanks for playing. That's what to do, but I'm going to teach you how to do it because I want this to be simple and actionable. Okay, what do we got so far? Ask for permission. Current situation. Destination or aspiration. It's very simple. It's 5 simple steps. You can use this over and over and over again. I've used it in job interviews. I've used it with coaching clients. I've used it in therapy. Over and over again. It's questions. So now, I know where they are. Kasim, you have a question, comment, or concern? Okay. Go back on mute. I know where they are. I know where they want to go. Let me tell you where the money's made. So can we put some dollar signs in the chat? Do we have some emojis? No, don't worry about it. Don't worry. Here's where you make your money. Oh, there we go. There we go. This is where the sale is made. So, Bruce, it sounds to me, if you hear yes more often, it'd be closer to living the life that you really want and deserve. That life you see when you close your eyes. Did I hear that correctly? Yeah, you got it. Well, Bruce, why aren't you living that life right now? Write this down. What is in the way? That question is going to make y'all a learning money. I promise you. How do I know? Because I've tested it. You don't have to sell or convince anyone. If you just ask them what's in the way, right? Jerome Shea said, Jerome Shea, I don't know what my purpose is. I want to be here, but I don't know what my purpose is. I want to live a more fulfilling life, but I don't know what my purpose is. Right? You say, Bruce, I want to increase my sales, but I'm hearing no, I'm not hearing yes. If you figure out what's in the way, it becomes very, very obvious to them that I'm blocked, I'm interrupted, I'm prevented, I'm prohibited from making my current situation match my destination. Robin says perfectionism. Oh, I've won a lot of people because I'm not perfect at all. I'll be messing up, but I mess up faster than people who don't do anything at all. If you, my boy Henry Amazing, he said, if you never create the content, you can't improve the content. He teaches content creation. So he was saying, look, if you spend 100 hours to make one piece of content, you've created one piece of content. But if you make 100 pieces of content, now you'll see a pattern, an increase of, that's one new skill. That's practice. Let me teach y'all something that's off the script real quick. Has anyone heard how many hours does it take to master a skill, to be an expert? Does anyone know this one? I feel like y'all are a smart group. I feel like somebody knows this one. How many hours does it take to become an expert? How many hours does it take to master a skill? No? Anyone? Okay, Vivian says 120 hours. Okay. Anyone else? Daria says 10K. So there's an author, Malcolm Gladwell, in his book, The Outliers. He said, he actually made popular a concept introduced by Dr. Eric Andreessen. He says that it takes 10,000 hours to master a skill. Okay. And that's true, but it's not accurate. Stay with me. It's true, but it's not accurate. Yes, Vivian, 10,000. I've got a better metric for you, though. It takes 10,000 repetitions to master a skill. This is a really subtle shift in mindset, but I'm going to help you all hear yes more often. So let's say we've got some friends who like to play golf. And if anyone knows golf, you play 18 holes. The fewer swings it takes to get through those 18 holes, the better you are as a golfer. Okay. Okay. So person number one, let's say my friend Leon Hampton, Esquire. Love that dude. He's pretty good. He might get through 18 holes in 2 hours. Okay. Me, I'm pretty terrible. It might take me 6 hours to get through 18 holes. Now, this is what's very important in this mindset shift. Stay with me. Leon did 18 holes in 2 hours. Bruce did 18 holes in 6 hours. Who did more golfing? It's the same. It's the same 18 holes. Okay. So this is where we have to be careful. We're productive and not busy. You do not get extra points for being busy, especially as an entrepreneur. You get results. You get points for results. The faster you can get those results, then now we're winning. Now we're having 3-day weekends. Now we're taking vacations again. Now we're business owners, not business operators. Yes, that's good math, Ms. Hawkins. So this is where 10,000 repetition come in. The faster I can get through these 10,000 repetitions, the faster I can become an expert. So I've been able to be more successful than a lot of people because I'm willing to fail. I'm willing to do it wrong when some people haven't done it at all. And what's very interesting, in school, they've kind of taught us backwards. In school, if you fail, that's a bad thing. You got to pay tuition over again, right? You got to retake the test. You got to retake the class. But in life, the faster you fail, the faster you learn. The faster you learn, the faster you grow. And in business, if you learn more, you earn more. So I want you all to get in the habit of asking more questions. If you were paid attention to my entire talk, one of the things I said was the more people I ask, the more people can tell me yes. And the more often I ask, the more often people get a chance to tell me yes. But we're afraid to ask because we might hear no. And that's ironic because the more often we ask, the more often we can hear yes, right? I asked 10 people can tell me yes. But if I ask 100 people can tell me yes. That's what I need you to get to. If you're exactly the same skill level, but you just ask more people, you're going to hear yes more often. This isn't complicated. It's not rocket surgery, as my friend used to say. So let's bring it all back. When I give you these 5 steps, it's because I've done this 10,000 times, a couple times. I've condensed 10 years of trial and error so you all can just run. It's not a shortcut, it's a fast track. So what's interesting is, instead of taking 5 years to get to 10,000 hours, I could take 5 years to do 10,000 repetitions, or I could do 1 year at 10,000 repetitions. The more people you talk to, the better you're going to get at talking to people. So as a coach, as a consultant, as a speaker, you should look for every opportunity to practice. And what I don't want your concern about people telling you no, we'll have to cover that in another session. I know that sometimes leaves us feeling defeated, that leaves us feeling dejected, that leaves us feeling depressed, but no is feedback. No is good. But you can't get to yes if you're scared of the no's. Okay. So let's get back on track. I wanted to share that with you. That's something that's very important to me. That's changed my life, because while you're busy preparing, or you're busy fixing your web page, while you're busy improving your resume, while you're busy curating your social media content to be in nice little squares, I've already asked 10 of your clients. And somebody told me yes. You haven't even asked yet. I need you to ask. And you'll get better and better as you go. I've gained much more by action, unprepared, than I've lost. And I've lost way too much through preparation and lack of action. I've gained much more by acting unprepared than I've lost, and I've lost way too much preparing without taking action. So I'm going to ask them, number 4, what's holding you back? What's in the way? That's such a simple question, because you're going to give you 3 answers. There's only 3 answers. They're going to say nothing. And I'm going to say, yes, there is, because you haven't done it. They're going to say, I don't know. This is a chance for you to be the expert. You want to educate them. Or they're going to tell you. Who said perfectionism? Robin said perfectionism. They're going to say, I said, what's holding you back? Perfectionism. I might introduce you to my friend Kelly. She has a brand called Do It Ugly. Donna says fear. They're going to tell you, but they're not going to tell you if you don't ask. That's all I'm teaching in 2022 is asking better questions. So we got permission to get started. We understand the current situation. We understand their destination. Now we're looking at their obstacles. Write down obstacles. What's in the way? Ooh, Hawkins said money. Money is never an obstacle. That's an excuse. Oh, 5 more minutes. Oh, I was talking again. Number 5. I want to make sure you get all it. Listen. If you haven't, please download this, and I'm more than happy to work on perfecting this for your business. Number 5 is present a solution. This is the 20% where you actually talk. So you go back and you say, Bruce, you started this call. You told me that you're unhappy with where you were. And you're telling me that right now you're hearing yes inconsistently, and you're telling me where you want to be is getting consistent results so you can travel more often, and you're telling me the obstacle in the way is perfectionism, it's fear. Did I miss anything from our conversation? No, man, you understand it perfectly. Well, Bruce, this is what you need to do. In order for you to hear yes more often, I need you to sign up for my 4-week coaching program. We're going to cover mindset and mechanics. We're going to cover confidence and closing. And at the end of that, I'm confident, because I've done it before, that you're going to hear yes more often. When do you want to sign up? So Bruce is going to say, whoa, wait a minute. How much does this cost? Bruce is going to say, well, hold on. I don't know if I want to get started yet. Bruce is going to say, well, Bruce, I got to think about it. Right? That's a good one. My favorite one is, I got to sleep on it. And I have a buddy, he's a little bit of an asshole. When people said they wanted to sleep on it, he said, sir, I don't sell mattresses. That's a whole nother training. What to say when they say no. I'm actually working on recording it, the rest of that this week. But I'm not worried about no right now, because a lot of y'all ain't hearing yes because you ain't asking them in the first place. If Bruce, listen, if Esther's skin is scaly like a damn reptile and she's crying and she's up at night and she's bleeding, I want the solution. Ask me for the solution. Bruce, here's what you need to do to solve your problem. Here's what you need to do to make your destination and your current situation the same place. Here's what you need to do to get rid of this obstacle. I'm not really even asking at this point. I'm going to tell you this is the solution. When do you want to get started? Visa or MasterCard? Would you like to pay the lump sum, or should I talk to you about our payment options? I'm asking for the money. And I have no guilt or shame because I'm very clearly solving a problem that they have. No one feels bad, right? If you're giving someone CPR, they're not breathing, they're turning blue, you give them the Heimlich maneuver. Oh, I don't know if I should give this guy the Heimlich maneuver. He might be mad at me because I broke his ribs. Apparently, if you do CPR correctly, some ribs are going to get broken. I promise you, no one's going to be mad at you for saving their life. They're going to be a little sore, but they're not going to be mad. And so a lot of you are making excuses for them, so you're afraid to ask. A lot of you are making excuses for yourself. You're afraid to ask. Well, I don't want to be greedy. I don't want to be rude. I don't want to charge too much. Charge them too much. If you change their lives, they're not going to mind. Norquell said, if he could help you make what you made last year, next month, how much should he really charge you for that? A lot more than $29.97. I promise you. I promise you that. That's a special. Shout out to Markwell. That's a special because that is not the price. That's not the regular price. So we've got just a few minutes. The process is simple. I got them from A to B. I want to make sure that all of you understand. Look, grab the question path. All my coaches, all my consultants, all my trainers, if you offer a transformation, if you help people get from A to B, grab this structure. Again, we don't want you to memorize it. Grab this structure. I'll shoot you an email Monday, Tuesday for constructing this for your business. So that, right? So you hear yes more often. I want to thank you so much for your presence and participation. Do me a favor. Since the breakout room is about to close, Doree's going to ask for a takeaway. Somebody raise their hand and make sure they share. Let's Rhea know I'm working, right? But put in the chat too. Put in the chat your takeaway. Leave the breakout room and then share your takeaway, because again, all of this information is useless until you use it. All right. My name is Bruce Hill. New Skills, New You, helping entrepreneurs hear yes more often without sounding like salespeople. Thank you for your presence and participation. I will see you in the main room. All right. Cheers.